Tom Davis, Rick Dempsey. We've also got Mike Bordick today, and Mike Elias, the new Executive Vice President, General Manager of the Orioles. Let's begin with Mike. What's it like for you today? Young man, 36 years old, running this ball club, and here's the home opener.
It's hard to describe. I mean, I've been looking forward to this for a while, even since the opener in New York, just coming back here. Personally, I don't think I've been to Camden Yards for a real game since I was a kid. And now to be back here, watch a Major League game against the Yankees, home opener, and be a part of it, it's really cool.
Well, great start by the Orioles. The other day, David Hess had an incredible start, had a no-hitter going through the ball game. And before the ball game, I talked to him about getting behind the fastball a little bit, and he said he picked it up in spring training because of some TV technology. And of course, you coming in really lift the Orioles back up into that analytical, keep up with everybody else in Major League Baseball. Can you tell everybody about the analytics that the Orioles have now?
Yeah, we're starting. I mean, it's a process, and it's going to take us a while to get to our full capabilities. We're just now scratching the surface, and the pitchers in particular have been shown a lot of new information that to talk to them, you know, it's not something they've seen a whole lot, and part of that, like you saw with David, is at times emphasizing the high four-seamer a little bit. It's a part of the game today that's become popular, and we've bought into that. We know there's a lot of truth behind it, that a four-seamer up in the zone, when used right, when thrown with conviction, can help you punch guys out. And I mean, he was unbelievable the other day, so look forward to seeing more of that.
You know, Mike, everybody's pretty excited about what's gone on so far this season. But let's go back a little bit, a half a step before. You had to make some very, very tough cuts towards the end of spring training. Cisco having a very good spring. He gets cut. He gets put back. Scott's, you know, one of our best-looking left-handed young throwers already, and Austin Hayes on the outfield. And they got cut. I really kind of had a good feeling about that because I kind of knew that they weren't really ready for everyday action here at the Major League level. What were your thoughts about sending them back?
Well, look, it's a good problem to have. I mean, the three guys that you mentioned, they're huge talents, and those talents display themselves in tools that are really obvious when you're at spring training. You see Austin Hayes with the speed and the arm and the power. You know, Chance Cisco puts together a good at-bat. He's got a nice left-handed swing. Tanner Scott can hit 100 miles an hour from the left side, and he's got a plus slider. And you see all that, and you get excited about it. But you also look at their resume in the minor leagues, and while they've had a lot of success, Hayes hasn't even played in AAA yet. He's coming off of an injured season. Chance Cisco had a bit of a rough year last year. And Tanner Scott can work on his command a little bit. And we're in the phase right now where it's very important to us to maximize our player development efforts, to err on the side of doing what's right by the players. And on top of all that, we get the benefit of giving some guys an opportunity here in the early season to get some sustained playing time while those young kids are polishing up, and we might run into a keeper or two in that period of time as well. So it makes sense for a club in our position.
Mike, how about evaluating Brandon Hyde and what he's been accomplishing since spring training?
Well, look, he's done a great job. I can't give him and the coaching staff enough credit for the atmosphere that they've created. I think you saw in spring training it was a relaxed but workmanlike atmosphere. We got a lot done. It was very efficient. I think the players know that these coaches care about them. Brandon in particular, he talks to them a lot, lets them know what's on his mind, what he wants them to do. The expectations are clear. And, you know, that was everything that I'd heard about him going into the interview process and that came out of the interview process. So far, it's been great, and I think it's carried over onto the field with the style of play you've seen so far.
Well, it was a fun spring training for sure. It seems like everybody relaxed. I think that's the way you're probably going to get the most out of your younger players. But, you know, when you talk about evaluating these young players, how long is this process going to take? And if they potentially sink in these opportunities at the major league level, do you just shuffle them out the door, or how is this going to work for you?
Well, it's difficult. It's part of being a GM and part of front office is, you know, you're just constantly making decisions. And the way major league rosters are constructed, we have a 25-man roster and a 40-man roster, and over time, if you send somebody to the minor leagues too much, they become what's called out of options, and if they can't stick on the 25-man roster, they go on waivers and another team has a chance to grab them. That's how we've gotten a lot of the players that are here this year, but it does force your hand to make some tough decisions before you're ready, and we do the best we can with our baseball people, with our analytics, and just with the performance of the players and try to make the right call.
Mike, as I look at what's really happened to this ball club, there's a lot of energy on this team. There's a lot of excitement. The pitching staff is entirely changed around at this point right here. I mean, I got on the phone and I texted you the other day when Severino got in. I saw this energy fly out there behind home plate, and all of a sudden he's calling pitches and he's talking to the pitchers out there where he wants the ball to go. The beautiful targets down. The catchers have ignited this ball club, and I have seen that so far. Nobody would have known that was really going to happen. Come on, tell the truth.
Yeah, that was fun to hear that from you in particular, and it made me feel good because I was seeing the same thing. Look, we made it a priority to shore up the catcher defense first and foremost because we knew we'd have some young arms and some veteran arms that we wanted to develop. We'll see how the rest of the season goes, but so far Xtra and Severino, with their energy, with their dexterousness, they're both kind of agile guys, and the big arms and just the leadership qualities I think we've seen from both of them, Xtra in particular. It's been good so far, but that was something that we wanted to prioritize. We knew that we're going to have to make sacrifices sometimes in putting this roster together, and we were erring on the side of defense, and that's been one of the mantras this year. So we'll see what happens.
Speaking of the roster drafted by the Orioles, you've got 8 players. Waiver claims, you got a couple. Acquired via trades, 3. Rule 5 picks, you've got 3. And you mentioned defense. How much does defense go into building this team and playing so well over the first 6 games?
Well, I think it's something that we wanted to prioritize really for our pitchers' sake, and just keeping the pitch counts down, making as many routine plays as possible, having some athleticism out on the field. Now, granted, when you emphasize defense, it's very hard to get a complete player, especially one that's available on the waiver wire, on the Rule 5 draft, and you might make some sacrifices on the offensive side. But with where we're at, we decided to prioritize that, and I think so far it's helped stabilize the play a little bit, and the pitchers like it. And over time, I just want to see everybody continue to grow, and we keep adding some better hitters in here, and the guys that are getting here continue to develop, and that's all part of the process.
It's pretty exciting. Such a young team that you fielded here this year, but a couple Rule 5 picks in there, Richie Martin and Drew Jackson, both shortstops. Now, it's coming pretty close to the draft day for the Orioles. Your first draft with the Orioles. You've been through it plenty of times before, but are you going to target those type of players, those athletic middle infielder type players that can move around?
Well, nowadays it's so hard to get a middle of the diamond defender who's also an offensive force, and you really got to use a high pick on it now to get those guys sometimes. I mean, in Houston we got Correa and Bregman at the top of the draft, and that's to get a shortstop that can hit, you really have to go get them early in the draft because they're hard to find. But the guys that we brought in here from the Rule 5 draft, it's never easy to carry Rule 5 picks all year, but we believe in these two guys. Jackson's versatile. He's had some decent offensive success in the Dodgers system. We thought he'd help move around and see where all he can play, and he can play around the infield and in center field. And Richie Martin, who was a first-round pick, a little bit of a late bloomer with the bat, and it's asking a lot of him to come up to the American League East, to the major leagues, and hit right out of Double-A. But as you've seen, it's a premium athlete and really what looks to be a big league-ready defensive shortstop, and that's huge for us. So I'm hopeful that we can try to carry his talent throughout the season, but we know it's going to be a challenge for him, but he's got the right attitude, and the defense has been helping us.
Mike, tough question here. Everybody in this city has loved Chris Davis, what he gave us when he first came to this ball club, all that power. He carried the ball club. He put him on his back. The last year and a half, he has really, really struggled. What are the thoughts now of trying to get this guy back on track again? What is our approach to getting him going?
We're trying one thing at a time. I know that he's felt it more than anyone. As you said, he's a great Oriole, and to go through the struggles that he's gone through has been personally tough for him. He doesn't like letting the team down. The thing that I've seen that's been great this season is, even though his success at the plate hasn't come, he's been terrific in the dugout, and more importantly, defensively at first base. I think he's playing a Gold Glove caliber first base so far. The picks he's made, some diving plays down the line, and so he's helping us win that way in the meantime. But we're working with him. We're going to try everything that we can try to help him out, and I'm hopeful that we can get him back to a good place, but it's just going to take some work and some time still.
Yeah.
Mike, we appreciate you spending some time with us here on opening day 2019. Mike Elias, the new Executive Vice President, General Manager of the Orioles. We wish him the best of luck.